Hey everybody, this is Jonathan Washburn, hashtag the Dean of Mortgages, coming at you here Monday, September 13th. We had a great NFL weekend this past week. My Browns did not quite get it done, but they played really well. If not for a stupid punter, we probably would have beaten one of the best teams in the league. But today, we're going to talk about something that is in the news a lot. It is mortgage forbearance. And the end of mortgage forbearance is coming, and a lot of people are freaking out, especially our friends in the media. You know, just in the last few weeks, I've pulled the following headlines off the internet. A tsunami of deferred debt is about to hit homeowners, right? This chart shows why the housing market may see an end of September shock, fortune.com. If you go to YouTube, you can see video after video after video of doom and gloom that is worried about the mortgage forbearance, the mortgage foreclosure moratorium coming to an end, and all of these people in America that are in forbearance are going to suddenly be in a really bad spot on their mortgage, and this could potentially doom and cripple the housing market, okay? But let's go over the numbers, and we're going to talk about 4 myths that currently exist about forbearance, and once we dispel those myths, I think you'll understand that it's not really that big a deal. Also, very important, okay? Stay tuned until the end. I am offering up 2 tickets to next week's Browns season opener to people that listen all the way to the end and answer a couple trivia questions that we have for you. All right, so let's look at the data on forbearance. Okay, currently 3.1% of American homeowners are in forbearance. All right, this is about 1.6 million total homeowners. Now, this isn't a small number, right? We don't need to sugarcoat it too much. This is a lot of people. However, we are still at less than 5%, which is much better than it could have been, much better than some of the predictions that first came out when we thought when forbearance first became an option. Additionally, 25% of these people in forbearance, right? So 400,000 of these 1.6 million are actually current on their mortgage, right? They're not even really in forbearance when you think about it that way, right? Maybe they opted in just to be safe and then wound up being able to make all their payments on time anyway. Maybe their bank automatically enrolled them in, but again, they've been able to make all of their payments. Again, though, once you consider the people that are already current on their mortgages, we're down to about 1.2 million people that are in forbearance, which is probably a little bit better than what the media would have you think. All right, let's talk about 4 myths that exist around forbearances to give ourselves a little bit of a silver lining here. All right, myth number one, what actually happens when forbearance ends? A lot of people don't actually understand this, okay? Here's what's going to happen. The vast majority of homeowners are simply going to have their missed payments moved to the end of their term, okay? There are a few mortgage forbearance programs which will work like this. If you miss 6 months, if you got into mortgage forbearance for 6 months, then on month 7, you're going to need to make your month 7 payment and all 6 of those payments that you miss. All right. People in these types of mortgage forbearance programs are going to be in trouble. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is probably going to be a problem. However, the vast majority of mortgage forbearance programs do not work like that. The vast majority of mortgage forbearance programs are, if you miss 6 months, then we're going to take those 6 months that you miss, we're going to kick them to the end of your term. So if you were originally scheduled to pay off your mortgage in December of 2030, we're just going to slide that 6 months back, and now your payoff date will be June of 2031. All right. This isn't going to radically affect that many homeowners. All right. Myth number 2, homeowners are in a bad spot. Have you seen this market? It's crazy. Yeah, I have seen this market, and that actually is quite encouraging to me because 90% of the homeowners that are currently in forbearance have at least a 10% stake of equity in their house, right? When you have equity in your house, you are a lot more motivated to try to, keep that equity, right? To try to keep your strong position, right? This is not like what was going on in 2007 when people were $100,000 underwater on their home. They missed 6 payments. What are you going to do? Evict me? Foreclose me? Whatever. My life, things are bad anyway. No big deal. If these people in forbearance have equity in their house, they're going to do everything they can to try to keep that equity. Right? So what does that mean? They're either going to work with their nation to stretch it out as much as they possibly can, or they'll sell their house from a position of strength, right? They'll pocket some money. Maybe they'll downsize, they'll buy something smaller. Either way, they are not nearly in as bad of a spot as we were 15 years ago. Myth number 3. Well, if all of these people do sell, won't that hurt the market? Well, here's the thing. We are already currently 4.4 million units short of a normal marketplace. I talked about the housing inventory numbers last week, okay? Let's pretend all 1.6 million people that are currently in forbearance did decide to sell their home today. What that means is that our inventory would still be too low. It just wouldn't be as low as it is right now, right? Additionally, if all of these people in forbearance did sell their home, they're not all going to be forced into renting. Like I said before, some of them are just going to downsize. They're going to buy a smaller home. They're going to have a Yankee swap of houses. So it's not even like 1.6 million homes will truly become available, because you're going to have a lot of trading, a lot of switching, a lot of those types of things involved. All right, myth number 4. But aren't foreclosures dramatically rising once you add the foreclosures in with the forbearances? This is bad news, right? Well, yes, foreclosures have increased from 0. All right, Adam Data reports last week that foreclosure starts were up 60% from a year ago. Up 60%. Doom and gloom, right? Yes, they're up 60% from a time when we literally weren't allowed to start foreclosures on anybody, right? There was a foreclosure moratorium last year. So, of course, foreclosures are up now that foreclosure is listed. But when you compare this current number, August 2021 to August 2019, right? You go back 2 years to our strong market, our stable market, our pre-pandemic ways. Foreclosure starts are actually down 66%. So again, don't believe all you're hearing in the media. Our housing market is quite strong. There is going to be some sort of a disruption when these people come out of forbearances. We probably will see some more homes on the market, but again, we needed that. That's good news for us. Okay, let's get to why you're really here. Browns trivia question. My son, Charlie, took him to a Browns game a couple of weeks ago for a preseason game, and his favorite part was the popcorn. He dove his head face first into the popcorn, as you can see right there. You get the opportunity to do the same thing this week, all right? To win, all you have to do is like this post and then answer all 3 trivia questions that are about to come up on the next couple slides, okay? Once you answer these questions, you can answer them on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Each person that answers correctly will be entered into a live drawing that will be held this Wednesday at 1 o'clock on this same channel, okay? Are you ready? Question number 1. Kevin Stefanski, your reigning NFL Coach of the Year, had a 2020 winning percentage of .688 in his first season as a Browns head coach. This was the highest for any first-year head coach in the franchise history since who? Who is the previous record holder of that question? Put it in the comments below. Number 2, which Cleveland Browns wide receiver owns the NFL record for most catches in his first 6 seasons, and how many catches did he haul in? I'm looking for a name and a number here. And number 3, what percentage of American homeowners are currently in forbearance? If you don't know the answer to this one, rewind, click on this same video, find out I did answer it in this video. All right, answer all 3 of those questions. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Give me the answer. Live drawing at 1 o'clock. These tickets are pretty good, right at the 50-yard line. They're actually in front of my season tickets. So if you win, you might actually be able to see me at the game, hear me screaming from behind you because you have better seats than I have. All right. Once again, Jonathan Washburn, deanofmortgages.com, youtube.com/c/the Dean of Mortgages. Thank you so much for joining me today. School is out.